All right, my loves. Day 18, and then we are all caught up. And the marathon is finished. All right. So we're reading first this letter about the necessity of duality, one, and our constant forgetting and remembering, and why this is important for our collective evolution and becoming. Okay. Dear God, what would you have me know today? Sweetest, you are doing a great job letting ease and grace guide your every move and thought. This is the way to peaceful enlightenment. Enlightenment means to become like the light of the Creator. And the lighter you are, the more you can be like light. Light doesn't have to be preached. Its truth activates the truth in others. You are programmed to remember your creator nature. Everything that reminds you of that will land with you naturally. You are on your journey and others are on theirs. The most effective way to remind others of their light is to remember your own over and over again. The goal is not to remember and never forget again. The goal is to become really good at remembering, to realize that forgetting is not a problem, but the necessary prerequisite to experiencing the joy of remembering. Duality exists for your enjoyment, if you choose for it to be so. Love, God. There are actually a couple of, sections in this letter with different things. But one thing that I am realizing more and more, and I have also like this piece of about manifestation landed recently, and that is, or let's not call it manifestation, but creation. Um, it's like if we want to tap into the potential, into the full potential of the next moment, we have to make sure we're free of the past. Because if we're clinging to the past, even the knowing of the past, then on a frequency level, we are tied to the frequency we know, the frequency of the past. But if we want to create a different reality, better outcomes, greater success, then it is better to energetically forget the past, forget everything we know about the past. Because the knowing of the past codes our field. It is present in our field as energy, as frequency. And so becoming lighter means to free ourselves from any baggage, from any knowing. So to get to a point, that's why the wisest people say, I know that I don't know anything, is opening yourself up to everything and anything that can come in the next moment. But the more we pretend to know about what has existed so far, this the harder it is for our energy to just allow something completely new to drop in our field. manifest itself in our field. And so becoming lighter, and that's how it started. You are doing a great job letting ease and grace guide your every move and thought. This is the way to peaceful enlightenment. The ease part is important, especially for me, because I have a tendency to take life very serious. I think I can really say now I've graduated this probably because I have really have understood that nothing has an inherent meaning. So it cannot have a serious meaning. I could still, of course, give it a serious meaning, but I am really getting better at knowing that this is a dream, this is play, this is for our entertainment, and everything that comes into being, into into existence, is for our highest good. And if that's a given, we don't have to worry, fret, complain anymore, but we can actually fully move on to the part where we just allow life to entertain us. And so that is how, with this understanding, I am now able to allow ease into my life, which for me, the next evolution of that will be to allow more play into my life. And with play, I really mean like playing games, which people who know me well know that I'm not great at enjoying like board games and stuff. But this is also getting better. I find myself playing board games now and then nowadays. So moving. Okay, so that's the ease part, the becoming lighter, and therefore becoming like light part. Um, and then and then that's another part, like light doesn't have to be preached. That's another piece which I am learning through studying the Kabbalah, where they speak about how in the past, in past ages, um, there were great prophets on earth. And these prophets have preached and spoken prophecies. And that was exactly what they were supposed to do. But this is not the time anymore. In this time, and this age that we're living in, it is actually about living the prophecy, living as the prophecy, which is also an aspect of the divine feminine, where the masculine prophet speaks and the feminine prophet lives the prophecy. The masculine prophet speaks the prophecy, the feminine prophet lives the prophecy, models the embodiment of the prophecy. And while I sit here and speak and talk, this would not have any effect if I would not also live that. And it would fall flat energetically. So even, let's say you find my work online and the only touch point that you've seen so far would be me speaking, it would fall flat energetically if I don't also live it. And then it gets more and more powerful once you come closer to me, once you get to know me, and once you follow my journey closer, actually meet me, be with me, because they're the embodiment of what I speak about, what I say is felt and experienced. Um, yeah, and then that's the bridge to everyone is on their journey. Like I am on my journey, everyone is on their journey. And um, there is this saying, like it speaks of a like an egg with a chicken inside. And it says like when you break the shell from the outside, life ends. But when the shell breaks from the inside, life begins. And so when I heard that, it kind of like made me realize something about evolution, because I often in the past, let's say in my 20s, I would say, when I began my spiritual journey, and also just, the inner healing, not even just the spiritual part, but also just the self reflection, self development, and um, healing and whatnot. I had this great urge to share this with people, and not only sharing is not strong enough, but to tell it to people, to talk at people, and to let them know what I am discovering. In order, that's the energy behind it. That was the energy behind it. In order for them to realize the same, and then to be on, to go on their own journey, and to help them along. That is breaking the shell from the outside. And while I was not killing anyone, because that's what the saying says, if you break a shell from the outside, life ends. And then when it breaks from the inside, it begins. I wasn't killing anyone. But what I was killing was, in the moment, the spirit of evolution, of effective evolution, sustainable evolution. Because to push anyone along their path doesn't work and isn't good. Go together. And what happens then actually is, because the great wisdom that is present always says, no, 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 we are not being pushed along our path, because anything we will realize by being pushed is not actually the work that we have done ourselves. So what happened when I tried to push people, was that they would resist, and they would actually, like really land in resistance and stay there and not move anymore. Whereas if I would not have pushed them, they would still be moving, but they stopped because I tried to help. And so this piece, that light doesn't have to be preached. The truth inside the light activates the truth in others. We were programmed to remember our creator, nature, being like the light. Everything that reminds you of that will land with you naturally. So by being on my journey, sharing my contemplations, but not forcing you to take more than feels right for you right now, that is actually what will activate in you the greatest potential that is available right now. Because if I try to activate more than is available to you in that moment, that's when the resistance comes. And then I also have not reached my goal. because my goal is to move you further, but to realize that it's not me moving you further, it's me moving me further and sharing that. And then whatever lands with you in a beautiful way and is right for you, which is not my mind to decide, to know. It's your highest wisdom that will decide, that will begin to resonate with certain things that I say. Never all of it. Never. Never all of it. And that goes for all of us. We go through life and find a person that we listen to, read a book, and the things that are important and right for us, they will stick. And that's perfect. It's perfect that way. And that last piece is also very insightful for me. The goal is not to remember and never forget again. The goal is to become really good at remembering, to realize that forgetting is not a problem, but the necessary prerequisite to experiencing the joy of remembering. We don't forget, we can't remember. And again, we're so many people here, and everyone is supposed to come back to remembering. And everyone can only be on their own journey. It doesn't work that I remember and then I go around and just tell everyone, now remember. I clap my hand, you remember. That's not how it works. Everyone has to get there on their own. So what's the best thing to program this whole reality? That I do remember, but then I forget again. And then you can watch me forgetting and remembering again, and forgetting and remembering again. And you have so many opportunities to see me do that, the people in your life, as you remember and forget and remember and forget and remember. The people in your life watch you do the same. And so, as I'm on my journey, those moments of remembering are like light bulbs, light bulb, light bulb, light bulb. And everyone who watches me sees those light bulbs. And wherever they meet me on my path, they get a new light bulb moment of mine. And this light bulb moment will then inform them and trigger, potentially, their own remembering. Or not. But then my next forgetting, and then my next remembering light bulb moment gives them a next moment, next chance to remember on their own. And that is why I believe that's how it presents itself to me right now. We don't remember and never forget again, but we become good at remembering. And we realize that the forgetting is not a problem. It's part of the beautiful design in order for me to be able to model the remembering so that it can trigger the remembering in other people. All right. That was lovely. I'll read again to finish. Dear God, what would you have me know today? Sweetest, you are doing a great job letting ease and grace guide your every move and thought. This is the way to peaceful enlightenment. Enlightenment means to become like the light of the Creator. And the lighter you are, the more you can be like light. Light doesn't have to be preached. Its truth activates the truth in others. You are programmed to remember your Creator nature. Everything that reminds you of that will land with you naturally. You are on your journey, and others are on theirs. The most effective way to remind others of their light is to remember your own over and over again. The goal is not to remember and never forget again. The goal is to become really good at remembering, to realize that forgetting is not a problem, but the necessary prerequisite to experiencing the joy of remembering. Duality exists for your enjoyment if you choose for it to be so. Love, God. All right, my loves. That's it. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow for day number 19.